So today, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about intuition. We're going to explore what it is, what it means, and how it impacts our life and the future beyond that. You may be familiar with those little nudges and pushes in certain directions. Sometimes they feel very subtle. Sometimes you might not notice your decision has been influenced by an intuitive thought at all. And other times you can immediately notice. I like to call it, I got a nugget, like it has just flown right in there in that second and has guided me with what to do, or, well, I like to say what to do because it's not what I can do. Sure, I can decide to ignore it, but that might be a whole other thing going on over there. So sometimes some things I need to know appear immediately. One thing that I wanted to talk about today is what intuition is. The New Thought Dictionary defines it as an inner awareness of spiritual truths without conscious process of thought, something that just appears. Also often described as an inner voice without conscious reasoning, in medical physical terms, intuition is the divine wisdom within, the part of us that transcends our rational mind. There is something to be said about learning about intuition and how it influences things that we do all day, every day, and we may not realize. Ernest Holmes, our founder, reminds us that we're always connected to the infinite mind. He wrote in Spiritual Awareness, our consciousness expands through meditation and contemplation, through conscious communion with the invisible, and through our intuition, which is the voice of spirit in us. Since the beginning of life on this planet, every species has been guided by instinct. This intelligence, etched into the very fabric of our existence, has ensured survival, adaptation, and the perpetuation of life itself. For animals, instinct governs their behavior. Birds know when to migrate, bears know when to stock up for winter, and spiders can create intricate and beautiful webs. Evidence of instinct is present everywhere by every form of life that has ever existed and that exists right now in this moment. It is how we all survive. But humans, born with instinct, also have evolved in a unique way. Beyond instinct, we possess intuition, a deeper, more refined sense of knowing that transcends mere survival. This instinct while instinct is grounded in physical experiences and our environment, intuition is a spiritual pipeline, a superhighway, a connection with spirit, rivals nothing else. Nothing can be compared to it because it is evidence of our oneness. It is through intuition where we access creativity, divine inspiration, a sense of enlightenment with our higher purpose. And unlike instinct, which does result from external stimuli, intuition whispers from within, often feeling like it's coming from somewhere beyond. It guides us toward growing and healing and our own spiritual evolution, wherever that may be for us in this moment. It is that gentle nudge to take a leap of faith, the feeling that something unseen is guiding and caring and protecting us. It may be unseen, but it is profound guidance at work. And it is also a quiet assurance that we are never alone. That said, just to piggyback off the animals and the instinct. Now, when I was doing this research and thinking about what I was going to talk to you about today, I wondered, do animals have intuition? And while I couldn't find anything out there in the world that confirmed that we believe that they do, I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. Whew. So, I consider intuition one of our superpowers. We have many of them: choice, prayer, the ability to react instantaneously, but intuition is a big one. It rivals instinct, in my opinion, because both to me are as equally important in my survival. So if you, like me, tend to look for science, you'll be happy to know that science has been studying intuition as well. Studies in neuroscience show that our brains process information on a subconscious level long before conscious awareness of what those things are. For example, experiments using brain imaging reveal that brains can detect patterns and make decisions milliseconds before we even know what's going on. This means our subconscious mind is working behind the scenes, gathering information and synthesizing things at the speed of light. It offers us intuitive insights long before logic catches up. One fascinating area of research comes from recent studies on the connection between the heart and the brain. Scientists have discovered that the heart generates its own electromagnetic signals and sends them to the brain through a complex network of neurons that communicate constantly. This study shows that the heart can sense and respond to information seconds before it happens, same as the brain. This phenomenon is called precognition. This suggests that the heart doesn't just pump blood, but acts as a sensory organ that informs our brain of intuitive processes. And when aligned with the brain, the heart's signals can enhance clarity, emotional balance, and decision making. So think about that for just a second. We always think our brain is doing the thinking for us. All my thought takes place up here. When in reality, science is now showing us that our heart, which we never thought could do this, thinks too. And it influences the decisions that we make and may help us see things in different ways. So that when we are faced with stressful times and we are unsure of what to do, listening quietly, our heart may be telling us. It may be giving us what we need to be guided. From my own experience, I know that intuition has been a guiding force in so many areas of my life. It has impacted events and situations. Looking back, I can distinctly remember times when I went this way instead of that way, not knowing why. Even if the other route took longer, I went anyway. I did this just last week, as a matter of fact. And I don't ask questions, I just go. I can also think of times when I've taken a leap without hesitation. That might be with a job or a purchase or another big decision in my life. It may also be with communication that I've done with someone in a practitioner session or with my kids or family or friends. Just the comfort of knowing that whatever is coming through is something that's divinely guided helps me to realize that it is divine. It can't be wrong. It can't be wrong. So, how many of you know what I mean? We turn left, we're going to go right, we go the other way. Yes, it's a common thing, and I think that's really one of the most common things people can say, as I was talking to quite a few over the last few weeks preparing for today. So whether they're gentle nudges or big sparks of inspiration, intuition is always there. It's an inner compass, if you will. So if intuition is so great, why are we not more aware of the impact intuition has on our lives? How do we open that spiritual pipeline and expand on our superpower? First, remember this. Your discernment will never fail you. The key is not allowing your mind or other people to talk you out of what your spirit knows. I think all too often, from my own experience, being in the middle of something chaotic, it's easy for me to lose sight of what's really going on. And it's also easy for me to lose sight of what I'm doing as a reaction to what is going on. So while that connectiveness between the heart and brain reinforces what many spiritual traditions have taught us for centuries, intuition is real and reliable. Whether we call it a gut feeling, inner wisdom, science and spirituality are coming together, affirming it's valid. What we believe is truth. Second, remember that you have the power, and if you feel like you don't, we can get closer together. If intuition is always present, why do we so often miss it? The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. I think without a lot of practice, and even for some that do practice quite often, it's easy to find ourselves reacting to a chaotic situation, whether that be with anger, concern, sadness, grief, or even happiness, right? They don't all have to be bad. It's easy to lose sight of it. And when we allow our reaction to be a mirror of what is happening outside of us, it cuts off that superhighway. And that intuition, that thought may be stifled or hidden because we aren't clear enough to hear it. So the answer to cultivating our intuitive connection lies in the busyness of our minds. When we're stressed, distracted, or overthinking, we drown out that still small voice. Intuition whispers. It rarely shouts. And it is constantly talking to us, constantly providing us with information. But when we are allowing situations or our own mind to overpower it, we can't hear it. It never stops. We just don't notice it. So, in Lessons in Spiritual Mind Healing, Ernest Holmes wrote, "Because of the diversity of ideas which are held in the subjective, it is not always possible to know whether we are following pure intuition or whether or not we're being led by subjective but unconscious thought patterns which have accumulated through the ages or through our own personal experience." And he continues with this: "The best we can do at present is to watch these actions and reactions very carefully, always working to know that pure intelligence alone leads, perfect love alone guides, and goodness alone controls." Let's go through that one more time. Intelligence leads, love guides, and goodness controls. So, let's be honest, right? During times of stress or uncertainty, intuition can feel elusive. I'm sure for myself, I can tell you that there are still some times when I feel alone in something. I can probably think that that may be true for some of you that are here today. That no matter what we're going through, though the truth is we are not alone because we are part of the greater, it can feel like it. When we become so focused on solving problems or worrying about outcomes that we overlook the answers that are already within us. So how do we dial down the noise? This is where spiritual practice becomes essential. By cultivating a calm and present state of mind through mindful practices, we can create a space that allows for us to hear and trust our intuition. Practice being fully present in the moment to give us that awareness that we are not alone. When we live with that mindful awareness, we're more attuned to subtle signals from our body, our emotions, and our inner guidance. Everybody's had that gut feeling before, right? A physical note that something's going on. Pay attention to me. That's intuition too. So sometimes when I find myself in a chaotic situation and becoming stressed, I visualize reaching out and turning it down. I may hear things happening around me, but I'm not listening. I'm making space for Spirit to speak. Actually, no, I'm not making space for Spirit to speak. I'm making space for me to hear it, because it's always happening. So, how do we do this? Let's take a minute to dial it down together right now. Settle in, do a little meditation. In any way that feels comfortable for you, begin to notice your breath. I invite you to sink into this space. I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose and gently exhale through your mouth. With each breath as you exhale, let your shoulders drop and your body relax. Bring your attention for a moment to your heart. This faithful part of you that keeps you going, circulating, beating, a place of love. As your breath continues to flow in and out, imagine it flowing in and out of your heart space. Whispers from your heart traveling to your brain and all parts of your body. An opening of that spiritual superhighway filled with the voice of Spirit. Softly ask yourself this question: what do I need to know right now? Simply hold the question in your heart and let it rest. What do I need to know right now? trust that your intuition is already responding, even if the answer doesn't appear right away. Notice any sensation, images, or feelings that arise. Just observe with curiosity and openness. What do I need to know right now? Allow whatever comes to you to surface, knowing that this message is meant for you right now. With a deep breath, express gratitude for all that has come through to you in this moment. With one more deep, cleansing breath, slowly bring your awareness back to the space. I almost feel like I should whisper. It's quiet in here. Oh, would anybody like to speak into the room a word or phrase that came to you during that meditation? Divine right action, thank you. Oh, over here? All is well. Over here? Healing love. Thank you. Thank you. Assurance. Whew. Well, for me, being up here doing that meditation, I kept hearing connection, connection, connection. I hope that that meditation gave you all an opportunity to ask yourself that question. What do I need to know right now? I will often ask myself that a couple of times a day. If I find myself needing a little bit of extra help making a decision, or dealing with an unexpected circumstance that may be a little stressful. I think it's a great and valuable practice. So I invite you to take that phrase with you, that question, and remember that you too can dial it down. You can hear things, but you don't have to listen. in order to make space for your own self, for your own comfort, and for your own knowing. So, there are many ways to strengthen your connection. The first, daily meditation. Even a few minutes every day is valuable and can help you tune in more to your intuition. Journaling. If you begin writing down any intuitive insight, your dreams, a random thought, a meme that you may have seen, or an affirmation, over time you'll notice patterns and wisdom emerging that you might not have been aware of, that have been present as a common thread through all of those things that you've kept a journal of. Body awareness. This is an important one. Pay attention to those gut feelings. Pay attention to the sensations that are in your body. Those are signals from intuition. And trust. The more you act on your intuition, the stronger it becomes. Well, I don't really like that. Not the stronger it becomes. The louder it becomes because you've made that space to hear it. Start with small decisions. Remember to pause and ask yourself, what do I need to know? And just watch how things unfold. And one more thing to add to this list. If you're unsure, or if you want to express gratitude for things that are going on in your life right now, be sure to see a practitioner for prayer. If you feel like you need a little extra assistance in your spiritual practice or with something going on in your life, find a practitioner and schedule a session. That can be an invaluable time spent together. In our teaching, we affirm that we are always connected to the divine. A beautiful expression of that connection is intuition. When we take the time to listen, we open ourselves up to the guidance that is wise, loving, and aligned with nothing other than our highest and greatest good. As you leave here today, I invite you to commit to living with a sense of knowing, trusting that the answers that you seek are already within you, and that superhighway connection with Spirit is flowing freely always. With mindfulness, faith, and a practice that you're comfortable with, you can make intuition a trusted companion on your journey. A little bit of parting wisdom today from Albert Einstein. I think 99 times and find nothing. I stop thinking, swim in silence, a typo there, and the truth comes to me. Swim in silence, what we did today. Oh, well, thank you very much. We're going to move into prayer. I'd like to invite all of the practitioners that are here to join me in surrounding the sanctuary as we move right into our affirmative prayer for this Sunday. There is one infinite intelligence, one divine presence that flows in, through, and of all things and all life. It is the source of all wisdom, creativity, and love and understanding. The presence is limitless. It is eternal and all-knowing. It is Spirit. It is the divine unfolding of every situation, everywhere. It is infinite and it is present. I know that this infinite intelligence is present in each of us here and everyone, everywhere, always. It is this oneness. It is the divine life. We are one with the infinite wisdom of Spirit, and the wave of love and presence pulsing through the universe is the oneness that binds us together. I affirm that within each of us is an intuitive knowing, that clear and present intuition superhighway that feeds us, that nourishes and guides us, that provides a safe and comforting place to just be. And it is in the silence where wisdom lies that are the answers to all questions, the solution to all circumstance, and nothing exists there other than divine love and presence of Spirit. For all of this, I am eternally grateful, for the knowing, for the sense that I am never alone, for the power and the presence of Spirit, and for the love that it is. And I release this word into the universe, knowing that the law is at work, that there is only one, and we are it. And I declare this truth now and always, and so it is.